So I was in basketball. I was in the basketball team, and there was a student who used to live in one of the teachers' compounds. She was in Nyamninia girls mixed.
Nyamninia.
Okay.
So every other day when she's walking from Nyamninia, you know, she has to come walk into Bashira.
Nyamninia.
Lazima sema na accent Nyamninia.
So can I even remember her name? Jeez, but for the sake, let me not.
Nyamninia girl.
Yeah, so the Nyamninia girl is walking, and every time she walks into the school, she has to walk by the basketball court.
Yeah.
So that we kind of started sending her for chapos every Friday because there was beans in school and no one wanted to have beans with ugali.
Yeah.
So every other Friday we would send her with an order, and she would probably leave in the morning because we would make like orders for crazy amounts of chapos such that she has to deliver them as she's coming out of school.
Yeah.
So akitoka shule anapita kama amezipik kama ni chapo so ama chapo so mbili.
She was killing it.
Why is it in
Kuna mtu tulikuwa tushakizana naye hapo, tunamwambia si tunahitaji chapo so mbili because hiyo time unazibai 10 bob ukiziuza 20 bob. Because nyinde wase wa baki huko chini, most people don't. Mkiingia DH mnashanga na hizi chapos zimetoka wapi? Of course it was contraband in the school at the time.
Yeah.
But that's what we would do. So hizo so mbili, of course kuna mtu atachukua 50 yeye aende kuuza zake 50 mwingine hivyo. So so that's how that's how we got to start interacting with this Nyamninia babe. So one day season is out, the basketball season is out, but I'm just over there at the basketball court just shooting hoops just trying to and she happens to walk by and she calls me over and she's like, yo, so I'm having this kind of like a hangout because season is out, tumemaliza exams, we're waiting for school to be out,
closing.
Na unajua kwa second time nilikuwa tu
ilikuwa ndefu.
So
a good year for chapos.
so she tells me there's like a hangout and it's happening this coming Friday. Alright, so mimi nilikuwa nataka ukam because mimi niko na mabeshte wengine wawili watatu wanakam so that we can make it and see, you guys know there's a teacher because there was a teacher who had just passed on in our school. So she was telling me her mom, or rather her, I don't know if she was living with her mom or her aunt, the accounts clerk at the time, was traveling for this funeral. So it was going to be wide open. And at the time, I'd never had sex before.
Uniform. Yeah, this is serious.
So, what was I going to say? No.
Of
course not.
How?
So I was like, count me in.
Yeah.
Count me in.
Yes.
I'm coming.
I'm coming to come. And be there in a few.
And I don't know, like sex at that age just seemed like this.
True that.
Yeah, and there was a lot of sensitization around HIV and all of those things. So the next day, I faint. I fake a temperature and get a permission sheet to go to the to the township clinic.
Oh.
Just so that I could pull some free condoms.
At least those things were working, bro.
Yo, I get there, of course you're in the bundus. Hizo vitu zimeisha.
Aziko.
Cause watu wa mtaa of course washazimaliza. So unaenda hapo angalia ma condoms aziko. Hauna pesa ya kubai hiyo trust kwa duka. Na ukibai trust kwa duka mtaa mzima imeambiwa usiuzie watu wako na uniform certain things. So I just go back to school and I'm like, you know what? Kuna ingine nilikuwa nimeweka kwa wallet. Hiyo ndio itabidi.
These days.
Nilibuy I think nikiwa class 8.
In the 60s.
You know the way you buy.
Kuna picha Kenyatta.
Yeah, you know the way.
Cheki Kenyatta kwa hiyo kusaidia. Nimagine na pesa.
So iko tu kwa wallet, so I fished it out and I'm like, why? Of course it had expired by then.
Yes.
But I was like, you know what? This
You'll
is
have
my...
to do.
It
Yeah.
will have to do.
Yeah.
You gotta come through, bro.
Yeah.
Nikaiseti kwa wallet, nikaisunda. Najua ni kesho. Haya. Kesho imefika. Najua ni night preps, niliambiwa ni show up usiku time fulani. In our school, during night preps, guys were allowed to go use study rooms. But you had to leave your name with the prefect so that when the teacher comes in, you can say, Bashir ameenda study room, ameenda geography room.
Yeah.
So I tell the prefect, of course, una pretend your time, unajifanya uko chini ya waba, you're trying to act, don't act suspicious. In your mind, you're just saying don't act suspicious because you're excited.
Oh,
Damn.
you're about to bounce off.
Check this guy knowing the desk. How does the cervix look like?
Let me see the fallopian tubes.
Okay.
So I tell the prefect, I've gone to the geography room to study. See, I go. I chose the geography room because it was very close to the fence of the school. So
strategy.
Nikaenda geography room, nikapata hakuna mtu. Perfect, because sometimes you find people, so it becomes difficult for you to sneak out,
Yeah.
or for you to hide your books.
Yeah.
So nikaingia hapo kwa ceiling place tu, najua watu ingianga saa zingine kujificha, nikarusha vitabu zangu hapo nikaziseti. Shati nikaitak ndani hivi.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking prison break.
Bana.
Because ukiwa kwa fence, na
eh.
venye shati zetu zilikuwa white, ukiwa kwa fence mtu anaweza kuona akiwa mbali, ule si ni mtu anatembea. So you have to hide the white part of your.
Yeah, the collar.
So nikafunga kola, kapiga sweta ingine ya juu, nikatoka nje ya geography room, nikaanza kutembea along the school fence because the house was right near the fence. So if you walk around the school, you'll end up at their back compound.
Yeah.
Si nimetembea nimefika. Kufika jeshi ya mtu 6-7 iko hapo. Wanangoja nje.
Wametaka shati pia.
Sisi wote tumetaka.
Oh, it was not just you.
It was not just me. Kumbe udem alipeana form kwa se kadhaa.
Yeah.
So we are 5 people outside,
So
there are 2 people
with.
inside. Mi nimepata watu nje.
Tuko wengi.
From what?
No, by this time I was in form 3.
Okay.
So I'm looking at what's going, because kuna ako ka heartbreak because you're like, wow.
Yeah, I thought it was just you.
I thought I was the one.
Chick, who this nigga?
I thought I was the one.
He's a man.
Because I know dem ameni headhunt.
Ameni hand pick.
Ameni hand
Like I was
pick.
not special.
Kumbe I was not special. Watu wako hapo hizo wana discuss hizi condom hazitatosha.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
It's a bit to improvise.
So what was happening? When did you find
Yeah.
the chick? Did you see the chick?
now there's commotion because there's already 2 guys inside.
Okay.
The 2 guys inside are from Force.
Oh.
And they are like muscling their way, like basically bullying their way, saying, hey, waka inche. So they're inside with 4 chicks.
Oh.
So this babe had already invited like 3 other babes. I think there were supposed to be more babes who were supposed to arrive, but something
didn't.
happened. They didn't. So now there's too many men.
Many men.
Many.
Guys out here discussing things, condoms,
Logistics.
the
Wearing them.
the probability.
Mimi acha nivae yangu kwanza.
I swear, I'm not even kidding. Guys are over there saying, labda naweza iosha tu. Ukishamaliza. And like it's embarrassing because like I don't know, like when you're that age, there is something about sex and the promise of sex, and even for adults, the promise
true.
of sex kind of warps.
It
drives you
in
crazy.
this time and era.
We were just like sex crazed at the time. So me, I lose hopes because obviously there's that heartbreak for what? You mean I wasn't special? And then the way it keeps getting noisy. That one for guys, we can't afford to be this loud. Someone is going to notice.
He's gonna
something.
find that guy. Yeah.
Exactly. So, may I decide, okay, you know what?
Yeah, what's going on in your mind?
In my mind, I'm thinking there's no way you're going to make it inside that
Yeah.
house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and even the babe who has invited you has not even seen your face.
True.
She's still trying to deal with these 5 niggas out here. So I'm like, you know what? Just take the L. Maybe you guys can panga for tomorrow night because these teachers will still be
At the funeral.
Aiwo.
Back. Awali piga hesabu poa. Alikaribisha kola.
Lazima sasa urudishe
outside
kola.
bado.
Hata mkinishika. It does not matter.
Karudi kwa geography.
Nikarudi geography room.
Na ukaanza kusoma.
Kusoma gani? Siku hapo unalamba wound zako kwa just like wow. These guys must be having
check
the time
different
of their
types
lives.
of rocks. Check it rock hard.
And then there's me.
Kuna difference ya line ya chakula na line ya kukomonga.
By the way,
line ya kukomonga kuna social distancing by default.
It's true.
But at least yeah.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
Huwezi karibia boy wako sana.
Yeah. At least
So-
only yeah.
I end up like just I completely just
Choreaing,
like chorea
yeah.
that story. The weekend goes by. The problem is now on Sunday, because that was happening on Saturday night. On Sunday there are whispers all over the school.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Unajua kuna wase walienda
Kudish.
teachers compound. Ati walikuwa wameenda huko kwa accounts clerk. Bana. Nasikia kuna madame sijui nini. So utaki kujishughulisha but unajiingiza tu kwa hizo story ukisikiza uko like ati really just like, and you know the way I just knew the way our school was the walls have ears man.
You true.
Monday assembly comes.
Aya.
Tumepiga assembly tumedhani hiyo kitu imepita. Before teacher on duty dismiss assembly. Tunaona deputy amekuja hapo. The following boys need you to report to my office immediately.
Yeah.
Joel Otieno. That's how she would
Shout out
talk.
Joel.
Yeah, that's how she would talk.
Well,
Joel Otieno. Brian Opanga Ogolla.
I even knew you were Tajwad.
Yes.
But you went.
Kuona promise.
The people who are snitching didn't have the details. So just like they gave a whole
The
list.
mall was there.
Shit.
Do you think they kumonga juu?
Definitely.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
Why you them alongside people?
Wait.
okay kana.
Kwanza tufike
Kuonja nini?
Chiki mimi nilirudi geography.
ICD yangu.
Ndio ICD.
Aya. Si tumeenda hapo kwa deputy's office tunaambiwa watu wanaenda classes, the you 3 remain, the rest of you go to class, mnakujiwa. Disciplinarian anawaambia tutawakujia kwa class. Sure enough, first lesson Monday morning was double chem. So tumeenda huko kwa lab. So from the lab you can see you have like a clear eye shot to the administration block. And I'm just in class with my Joel Otieno person. And we can just see that's Mr. Hender. He's coming. The disciplinarian. We look at each other just like, okay, we are fucked. Me, I just started closing my books. Because I knew by there, you know what?
Yeah.
This one, there's no for denying.
Yeah.
You went,
So,
but you didn't, Nini.
And Joel? What about Joel?
Even him, the thing is, me, I didn't see Joel there that night.
And
Apparently,
you
after I left,
It's when you came.
more people showed up. Like between 3-5 more people showed up.
Okay.
So tumefika hapo, nimefika kwa deputies, napata wanaume macho zimenyanya, wamekuwa wakipigwa, wakilia,
Guy.
wamekaa hapo chini kama maabusu.
On the ground.
Naona familiar faces and faces I didn't see. I'm just like, ala, wewe ulikuwa huko. Nikaingia kwa deputy's room, office. Naona tu mapera ziko hapo.
Mapera.
Mti ya mapera. Ile bado iko soft. Aya. Ukaniambia, aya, kneel down. Kneel down. Ikakuwa tunasikia mlikuwa mmeenda kwa teachers compound. I don't know what happened. I just found myself saying yes.
Aya.
Hey, wewe ni mtiaji.
Nikasema yes.
Hey.
I went.
Check it, that's when he believed.
He
is the one.
Labda Joel alikuwa tu like
No,
tunakana hizo. Alikuwa tu like yeah, come on.
So nikakana. Sikukana, sorry, nikakubali. Nikasema yes, me I went. Akaniambia ulienda kufanya nini? Na ilifikaje? Nikawaambia the whole thing.
Alinitoka kwa basketball court.
Yes, nikamwambia
Nyamninia girl.
nikamwambia Nyamninia babe tumekuwa tukimtumanga chapo.
Aye, ulipa na makacha hapo na hoja kuuliza.
Nilimpea context everything because me I knew, you know what? This is my time to transfer on this school because I was like I finally have found myself in enough hot because I was like now that I'm in this mess let me just nini it kabisa so that wakinipea suspension ikuwe indefinite. Nikienda home malango hana choice. Sasa mimi nikaamua niseme ukweli yangu mimi nilienda but nika leave out everyone else. Kasema ulienda ulipata mtu? Hapana. But nilikuwa nasikia watu wakiongea huko ndani nikasikia hapana na nikagonga mlango asikufunguliwa mimi nikarudi kwa class.
Bas.
Hey. So I told them that whole thing how she's the one who need.
Alikutisha picha yake.
Kumbe this babe had given a different story. Of some forceful things that had happened.
Shit.
So that's why it had now become a big deal, a case because when she was approached obviously by the person she was living with, the person who was working at our school, she obviously had to find a way of denying it. And I think she said, you know, a couple of half-truths and some of that. So yes. So mi sikuwa najua story imefika hapo. But wakaniambia first of all Brian umefanya poa sana kusema ukweli. Ingiza kichwa yako hapa. Kuna ka room kwa desk ya deputy hapo. Unaingianga tu huko.
Haga inabaki hivi.
Haga inabaki huko nyuma hivi. Mapera. Sema wewe go back to class.
Okay.
Is squad yote watu walikuwa nje walikuwa wamekana. They had denied.
So you're the standout guy.
So I was the one who said by the mean nilienda. But they were like unatudanganya. You must have seen someone. Kasema miss kuona mtu yote but I went. And I did. Yes. Na kaniuliza what were your intentions? Kambia my intentions were to have sex hopefully.
Oh for real.
Shit, but then I think that honestly saved you. Ulipata mapera tu kadhaa.
Cheki nilikuwa nenda kukua mwanga.
Wow.
Because I just told her straight up. Me, I was hopeful that something like that would have transpired. Hadi nikaonyesha my expired condom in the wallet. Yes. Kambia ndio hii. This is what I wanted to go there to do. Yes, they took it.
Exhibit.
Wakaiacha hapo kwa meza.
Wakaona expiry date wako like
Mimi si nimerudi
class.
Nimerudi double cam. Naulizwa niaje umedismissiwa. Kambia mimi nishasema ukweli. Apparently wakasema punishment ina follow. Labda walikuwa wanataka kutafuta more tree stamps whatever. So me I figured no suspension. Fuck.
You're broken hearted.
Bana.
But
I could try again.
Hii kesi ilikuwa imeenda mbali sana because before I knew it I didn't know what was going on. There was Mariamu ya Makarao. Imekuja shule imepaka hapo mbele. That time double cam imeisha. Mimi nimekaa kwa desk yangu naona gari ya mapolisi imekaa hapo.
Ilikuwa imescalate.
Naona hiyo jeshi niliacha huko wenye walikuwa chini wameanza kupelekwa kwa
Mariamu.
That's crazy.
Mimi pia nikaitwa.
Sikusha absolviwa.
No, si ndio witness.
Apparently history haiko imefikia nini? Haiko imefikia principal. And coincidentally on the day that this happened there were two students who had left the school to go to the clinic, the dispensary, and they happened to pick up a gun on their way.
Where? Wow.
Ilikuwa tu waliokota tu. It was completely happenstance.
That's crazy.
So mimi nikiona Mariamu nikojua najua hii kesi imefika mbele. Kumbe this OCA, this cop car had come to first of all figure out history gun. But the principal was using it as a tactic to get these guys to
stusha y'all
to open up and admit
to sing.
yeah.
Guy.
So it's because mi pia nilikuwa hapo but nikasema we pia juu ulikuwa we pia ingia si nilienda nikajipata nimekaa hapo we never left and we were never taken to the police station but
You were inside.
tulikuwa taa hapo and it got the desired effect.
Yeah.
guys started singing now.
Kulikuwa na mapingu
Sindio.
mmekaa hivi nyi wote kama
Mtaongea.
maabusu
Mtaongea. Yeah, for real.
Kukomanga holiday moja minia girls.
Difference ya gangbang na gangbangers.
Bashir.
Bana.
so we
It's a family
eventually
show,
tukaambiwa tushuke turudi hapo and then the suspension cheats were now being written.
Oh.
Anytime you're suspended they have to come search your box nini wakanipata na ma contraband.
Ulikuwa contraband gani?
Chapati.
nilikuwa na matchbox.
Na matchbox ilikuwa nini?
That's the thing, I can't remember how it got in that box.
Yeah, it must be someone else's.
No, that's honest to God because me hata stories za sijui kuvuta vitu hizo nilianza after my 20s.
Yeah, so it can be.
So I think it must have happened on because there are times when I would use it on holiday. There was like a those the B00ty things that you would make with spark plugs.
Spark plugs.
I know that.
You know that thing?
Unajua ni
Near wire.
engineer.
Yeah, you put a wire, you put kiberiti, and yes, and then when you hit it against the wall, so that's how I ended up like mistakenly putting one matchbox in my school bag. And because that particular time, maybe I don't know why they didn't search me properly, so by the time I got into school, that's when I realized shit, it could do hapa, so I just dumped it in there.
Okay.
I never expected
Found kiberiti,
find kiberiti.
bullets.
What else?
No, they found
Expired condoms.
they found a palito.
Oh, palito
What
as
the
well.
fizz is that?
Check
You
it.
don't know
palito?
No.
Check it. Palito ni ile radio. Ujui your radio Maria Prud.
It
The
was
one that it had 3 buttons.
yeah, it was a car
And then
radio.
you had to you switch
it's
to
a radio.
the FMs and then
Yeah,
It was a
could
dope thing
catch
to have in high school.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
a dope thing for you to be listening and telling
yeah,
people.
kuna
Hey,
earphones unasikiza ma radio.
Nairobi kumeenda hivi. Yeah, mi niko in the know.
There
Yeah.
was a news.
Yeah.
So obviously there was just like kwa suspension sheet ikaandikwa hivyo was involved in group sex because now
Oh,
You
ne.
wrote that.
they
Yeah,
wrote that.
why did they write group sex? Because of the bash.
Because even the babe was not telling the truth and some of the boys were not telling the truth about what really happened in that house.
True.
The babe first of all did not want to say what really happened in the house.
But let me ask.
But the only way they figured it out was when guys now decided to say the truth, they said it wasn't just this babe who lives here that was here. There were other babes.
Oh, so there were
So
other
those other babes, because Nyamninia was just down the road, they had to be fetched.
Okay.
So those other babes were the ones who came and they set the record straight because they were like, oh, this is what happened.
But did any of these niggas come among those chicks?
I think so. I think
So,
how
did the
could
chick-
they
That was
not?
their
Kwanza those
agenda.
Form 4s.
And then did the chicks get shipwed?
Beards on the SS.
On the
Walishikwa madem?
Arrested? You mean?
Yeah, arrested.
No.
They were
I
just there
don't
to
think so because they
corroborate.
didn't say they were forcefully. You
The
don't
babe
know.
just said there were some guys who tried to force themselves into the house.
Yeah. She didn't want to.
She didn't want to say that
Yeah,
she's the one
it's a
who
bash, yeah.
invited these guys.
Yeah.
Or she's the one who told us to show up because she was trying to have like a nice shindig.
Yeah, true.
But once the babes came, they set the record straight, and now the babe was forced to now just come out clean and say, yeah, it was my idea and blah
It's
blah
a
blah.
bash.
So now you're sent home with a group sex. Imeandikwa group
Charge.
sex.
I have it at home.
Na mama.
umeiframe.
Eh?
Madhako aliona.
Kuona group sex.
Your time relationship yangu na madhangu imeharibika. Every time we close, I don't go back to Nairobi. I go to my aunt's place in Kisumu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just called her kwa ilikuwa inaitwa nini hizo simu za jamii.
Yeah.
Called her. I was like, yo, send me like 200 bob. I need to get to Kisumu. I've been suspended.
Yeah, she didn't ask nothing.
Aumpati chance.
Like that's all the money I had. for phone calls.
Because akiamua anaweza amua apige hiyo simu jamii muongee for 1 hour
Yeah.
akikukemea.
Akikupasha.
Nikamwambia tu suspension mimi naenda Kisumu ya 2 weeks. Chwep. Best 2 weeks of my life.
It was your auntie cool?
Very. But that time my auntie had passed on.
Oh.
So my uncle was the one who was there. But even my uncle looked at the suspension letter and
My son.
She's like, hey, shout out.
Like aliangalia tu akafunga akaambia mmeshakula.
Upewa chakula. Walikula.
Like he avoided that story. And so I had to wait. Which I think that's why it was really fun, because as opposed to going to Nairobi and being in the same house with my mother looking at me with judgment for Brian.
Yeah, how could you?
Groups. I was there with my uncle. Condom. And my uncle was not giving me pressure. I was just like, have you had breakfast? Me, I'm going to work. There's food there. Nini. I'll be back at a certain time. Me, I'd get the basketball, go to a certain court, and I nested there in Kisumu. And just hoop most of the day and come back at like 6 for most of those 2 weeks. So the day before I was supposed to go back to school, my mom comes to Kisumu. But before she gets there, my uncle first decides to talk to me about it.
Yeah, suspension.
Because now he was just like
group sex.
Yeah. And he had a very real talk about, for me at the time, it just sounded like bullshit. Because I was like, what do you mean? He told me, Brian, unaona hii sexy, mko obsessed nayo.
Si kitu.
Kuna time utaikula
Utaki.
hadi sasa utaki. Hata kama uko na wife. And you know, he was having a real like man to man conversation for like even married people. Kuna watu kulana hadi wakulani anymore. Hii sio kitu kubwa, hii kitu hii sex mna nini hapa. So usikuwe ni kitu ya siju kuharakisha. Mimi sitakuuliza nini ilifanyika.
Lakini
your mom is coming, madhako akikam mtaongea mfanye kila kitu. Akaniambia, you know what, even your cousin, you know, she was suspended for, you know, some weird things, being caught with pornography or things like that. So I was just like, what? That happened with my cousin. So he was just like, you know what, these things are normal.
Or trans in the family.
So I was just like, okay, sir. But my mom comes and she read it. And niliona pressure kwa macho yake. Niliona pressure kwa uso yake. She was just like,
she was livid.
Like I think she was now trying to consider is he gay?
Wangeandika hapo group sex with a woman.
Yeah, because when you go to an all boys school,
then it's group sex.
And then it's group sex.
You're
like, who are you guys CXing?
It's the other boys.
It sounds like it's other boys.
Cheeky bate, man. But again, that is and your dad, what was he saying?
My dad did not want to deal with that. He was like, me, I have to pay school fees.
Yeah, let me go work.
Focused on
like,
the
mom will be like,
my mom was the only one. My dad only showed up during one visiting and prayer day for Form 4.
My dad too.
Scale boy.